Hello everybody. We're going to go over the 12 cranial nerves today. I know it sounds like a lot, but we're going to try to not make it but so much or so difficult for everybody to understand. So I'm going to do a couple of things here. First, I'm going to break them all down individually, explain what they are, what their numbers are, what their names are, and then we're going to do a couple of different things to see if maybe we can help remember them. So let's get started. All right, so first off, we have cranial nerve number 1. It's called the olfactory. And most people remember this by an olfactory smells. So that kind of makes sense, right? Considering what this one does, the olfactory nerve, this controls your sense of smell. So that olfactory stinky, you can smell it because you have cranial nerve number 1. You can also remember this one by its number 1, and typically speaking, we only have one nose on our faces. So you might have some extra ones there. That's your problem. I don't know what to tell you about all that. But we're only supposed to have one of them. So cranial nerve number 1, one nose. It smells, that olfactory. And you can also remember this by something my teacher likes to tell us, is that if you ever get into a fist fight with somebody, the first thing you want to do is hit them in the nose. So that's going to be the first place you aim at. The nose. Cranial nerve, number 1, the olfactory nerve. Number 2, cranial nerve number 2, the optic nerve. Optic, meaning eye. This one should be easy to remember because God or evolution or whichever one you so believe in, that's completely up to you. I don't care. No judgment here. Anywho, whatever power you believe in, only gave you 2 of them. 2 eyes, optic nerve number 2. Now this nerve, whatever you want to call it, the only thing he does is actually let you see. So this is the one sending sensory information to your brain so you can actually process the images that are in front of you. Optic nerve number 2, 2 eyeballs. All right, number 3, the oculomotor nerve. So this is the one that helps your eye move. Well, most of the time. You see, you've got 6 little muscles around your eye, right? This guy controls 4 out of those 6. So we're going to learn a couple others, or one other, that has something else to do with the eye. We can lose those, but still be able to move, as long as we have optic nerve number 3, ocular motor. So, got a little car here with our eye driving, ocular motor, eye movement. All right, let's go to number 4. All right, number 4 is the first one, aggravatingly enough, that is not named after what he actually does. So he kind of gets a little difficult to remember. He's not actually named, like I said, by what he does, like ocular motor or something like that, something where we can make a snappy little remembrance by. No, he is named by the sling-like, pulley-like attachment that the superior oblique muscle of the eye runs through. And this nerve controls that muscle. So you can kind of see that in this diagram up in that top left-hand corner where you got the superior oblique tendon, superior oblique muscle, and the trochlea, which is where this nerve gets its name from. The trochlea, med terms and all that good nonsense, means pulley or sling. So the trochlear optic nerve number 4, stands for the trochlea that the muscle that it controls passes through. God, I hope that makes sense. All right, number 5. Number 5 is my absolute favorite because when you get into a fight with somebody and you hit this bad boy, they are KO. They is knocked the mess out. This one is cranial nerve number 5, the trigeminal nerve. And why he's called the trigeminal is because he kind of makes a triangle on your face. And the big branch rather, that fighters tend to use is the one that runs along the jaw line, the button on the jaw, the KO button. So, like you see in this picture right here, this guy probably got hit in the button. He probably got hit in the mandibular branch of this trigeminal nerve, which radiated the pain to make it feel that, instead of just the jaw getting hit, that whole left side of his face got tore up. So that's kind of what the trigeminal nerve does. Like I said, he pairs out and gives you all that nice sensation on your face. He's the button. That's how I remember him. Anytime somebody says trigeminal nerve, I'm like, yep, that's the KO button. That's the one you need to hit right there. All right, number 6. We're back to eyes now. We had to, go play with the face a little bit. Now we're back to the eyes. This one is the abducens. And if we all remember med terms and remember, movements of the body, what it is to abduct, take something away from the midline, take it towards the outside. That's what this one does for your eyeball. He controls, or innervates rather, the nerves that allow you to abduct your eyes. Now, most people probably won't be able to do this as well as this guy can in the picture, because most of us, if our eyes kind of, move together, so to speak, so if one is abducted, the other one is adducted. But if you can abduct both of your eyes at the same time, good job for you. You have a skill I sure don't possess. All right, number 7. This one is amazing because he is named the facial nerve. And that's, guess what? Exactly what he does. He innervates all the little bitty tiny muscles, especially in your scalp and your face, that allow you to make all these silly, funny little expressions that we love to make all the time. So facial nerve, number 7, controls your facial movements. See, wasn't that just lovely? I love it when they name things like that, and it all just flows together and moves like it's supposed to. So, 7, facial nerve. All right, number 8. Number 8's got 2 functions. You might have heard this one as called the auditory nerve, but then, science evolved and we were able to look at smaller things and get better views on stuff. And then one scientist was like, oh, snap, this one doesn't just do auditory. It actually splits up, and part of it goes to the vestibular and part of it goes to the cochlear. So, or cochlear, as my teacher would probably be yelling at me right now for not pronouncing that correctly. So, everybody knows your vestibular controls your balance. It makes you not fall over. Controls your equilibrium. What helps you not fall over, rather. And then your cochlear is what we hear with. So, number 8, vestibular cochlear nerve innervates both of those sections. So we got balance and hearing all wrapped up in one fancy little package. How nice is that? Number 8, vestibular cochlear nerve. All right. Cranial nerve number 9. This is another good one, the glossopharyngeal. So, med terms, everyone. This one does names, whatever. Exactly what he does. He controls the tongue and the pharynx. So, helping you swallow and helping you taste stuff and move that tongue out of the way so you hopefully don't bite it. Yeah, that one's rather lovely compared to, trochlear, where the crap did that word come from? So, glossopharyngeal, number 9, tongue and throat. All right, let's go. Vagus. Yeah, everything's in Vagus. And good old cranial nerve number 10. That's what he does. He does everything. He does all your visceral organs, pretty much everything. Well, he innervates everything, rather. And, everybody knows everything can be found in vagus, V-E-G-A-S, and our vagus nerve, V-A-G-U-S, so don't get them but so confused, controls everything. So number 10 controls everything, and he's the vagus nerve, just like Vegas has everything in it. Let's keep going. All right, good old number 11, our accessory nerve. This one might also be referred to as spinal accessory, because that's kind of more specific to what he does, but a lot of people just shorten it to accessory. He kind of innervates the muscles involved in the neck and the back. I like to call this one the pain in the neck nerve, because like I said, he innervates a lot of the muscles, more specifically sternocleidomastoid and trapezius. And I, as a massage therapist, have to deal with those two a lot, because that's the biggest complaint people have is neck pain. And these muscles, especially good old traps, can lock down on cranial nerve number 11 and cause a lot of pain in the neck. And I also like to remember this one by accessories, to me, are just a pain in the neck. Like, I don't even carry a pocketbook. I wear minimal jewelry because I just don't understand all this accessorizing. It's just a pain in my neck. So number 11, the accessory nerve, is a pain in my neck. And yeah, that's what works for me. So yeah, let's keep going. All right, number 12. Thank you for sticking it out this far and dealing with me. I know I'm not the best in the world, but you know what? Let's keep going. Number 12, hypoglossal, under the tongue. And guess what he does? He does stuff under the tongue. Isn't that awesome? Another one named after what he does. What does he do? Oh yeah, under the tongue. He helps the tongue move. Speaking, chewing, swallowing, all that good goofy stuff the tongue is good for. So, yeah. Number 10. No, we're on 12. That's right. You stuck it out with me to number 12. Number 12. Hypoglossal nerve under the tongue. Alrighty then. Okay. So we went over all these nerves, and now we're going to try and see if we can draw them out a little bit. Now, no judgment, please. I draw like a 2-year-old, and my handwriting's even worse. So, you know what? I know who I am. I'm not an artist. Never claimed to be. But you know what? Sometimes drawing this stuff out or diagramming it can, put a little different image in your head and help you remember these things. And hopefully that's what we're going to go for. So you can see my lovely little sheet of paper here, and it's got a number 1 drawn on it. Anybody want to think about what that might be for? Number 1, cranial nerve number 1. We only got one of them. That's right. This number 1 is going to be our olfactory nerve, cranial nerve number 1. Let's see what number 2 looks like. All right, next step. So we got the little number 1 down there, right? And then we drew some circles, right? I drew some circles, and we went ahead and put 2, 4, and 6 inside of those circles. So those are going to come in handy in a minute. But guess what these are? These are our eyes. And if anybody remembers what we just talked about, 2, 4, and 6 all deal with eyes, right? So we got our little eyeballs here. Number 2s, 4s, and 6. Let's see what our little next step is. All right? All right. All we did was add like some little eyebrows, little M's or sideways 3s. And remember, number 3, ocular motor. It's going to help us move our eyes. And, you can kind of think about this, our little picture. Your eyebrows do a lot of eye movement. Well, kind of show eye movement, not movement of the eyeball. But that's besides the point. We're not getting into technicalities here. This is just a silly little drawing, and it's going to help us out. So let's keep going. What's step number 4? 4 is we're going to draw a 5. Yes, I know. Just bear with me here. So we kind of got our little forehead coming down around the left side and then like a little open mouth. So remember, number 5 is our trigeminal, right? Trigeminal nerve. Radiates that whole side of the face. Both of them, rather, but you know what I mean. Let's keep going. Now, I drew a number 7, and then of course, a face needs 2 sides. It can't just have one. So I drew a backward 7. And you remember that's our facial nerve, number 7. I bet a couple of you were like, hey, you missed 6. No, I didn't. Remember, we put it in the eyeballs. 6 controls eye movement. So let's keep going. We got our little sides of our faces for our number 7s, our facial nerves. Let's go. Next. Number 8. Look at our lovely little ears here. This is the one that actually made me think that these drawings might actually help me a little bit, as I saw a video doing something similar to this and thought, that's not going to help me. Until literally, no kidding, that evening I did a quiz, and it asked a question about cranial nerve number 8, and I was like, wait, what is that? And then I saw my little ears in my head, number 8's stuck on the side, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's hearing and balance. So yeah, this is what made me think this might be worth it. So yeah, let's keep going. What's the next step? All right, next step, we draw a little tongue. We got 9 and 12 in the tongue. Now, if you Google or look at and try to find some other videos like this, and I'll show some images at the end of it. This is where I kind of made mine a little different. Some people put number 10 also on the tongue, 9, 10, and 12. But that didn't make any sense to me because 10 was vagus, not necessarily specific to the tongue. So I just wanted to keep, mine a little bit more segregated, or not really segregated. I don't like that word anymore. Individualized, I reckon. So 9 and 12 are on my tongue, and I'll show you some pictures here in the end of this where, you might see it a little different. Speaking of vagus, there it is. It's our little body. So our body of our guy is a big old number 10. Everybody wants to be a 10. Everybody wants to have a body, scale of 1 to 10. Everybody wants to be a 10. So there's our little 10 body. I like it. He's cute. Now, I had done this one a couple of different ways. Here's one where 11s are the arms. But I didn't really care for that because I thought it meant more like, the arms were the accessory, where, accessory is really more concerning the neck and back. But if this helps you, it helps you. So, this one's got the 11s on the arms. This is where I like the 11s, more like neck, so kind of more like that sternocleidomastoid muscle that comes down. You see it popping out on all these cut guys or gals, whatever you're into. So kind of like that muscle that pops out on the side of the neck, right there on the side of the throat. That's where I wanted my 11s because, sternocleidomastoid is one of the muscles that innervates. And, I really wanted to kind of make myself remember, 11 is accessories of neck and back. So, and then of course we've got our number 10 body down there. He's looking nice. So here's one of the other pictures I was talking about where, the 9, 10, and 12 would be on the tongue. This person did 11s as arms. I kind of wanted to show you this one because, number one, my drawing absolutely sucks. But, just seeing it in different colors might also help somebody. So, 3s, you got your ocular motor, 5, the whole face, your 7s, backwards 7, your your facial nerves, 2 optic, 1 nose, 6, once again, eye of movement. So, you guys can kind of see what's going on here based on all what we've talked about so far. Here's an even better one. Of course, this person putting everybody to shame. But this also leads me to my next point. Some people find that, acronyms really help them. This one's kind of a classic old acronym on old Olympus's towering top, rather. A Finn and German viewed some hops. So we've got our first letters there for, all of our 12 cranial nerves. So if that helps you out, sometimes acronyms help me depending on what it is, but when it gets this long, I don't have time to remember a full-blown sentence. So it just confuses me even more trying to, remember what the sentence was more than what the actual information it's trying to present to me is. Speaking of mnemonics, here's another one. This one actually, for some reason, well, I know the reason, actually works for me. But first, I guess I need to explain what this actual mnemonic is. So we've been talking about these nerves and kind of what they did, but as everybody knows, well, hopefully if you're watching this video, you kind of have somewhat of an understanding about, nerves can do a lot of things, right? So you've got motor neurons and you've got sensory neurons and you have mixed neurons. Well, for the purposes of this acronym, mixed has been replaced with the word both. So it is both a sensory and both a motor. And of course, a motor neuron is going to provide motor function. It's going to move something, right? A sensory neuron is, of course, going to sense something. It's going to pick up on an impulse and send it to the brain. A motor neuron is going to move whatever part in response to what the brain tells it after it received that sensory information. Or it could just move it because you, the person, are in voluntary control over it. And then you got some nerves that are, special and they can do both. So some say marry money, but my brother says big brains matter most. Now, it's kind of been proven, kind of been shown that, these mnemonics work, but it really helps most people remember if they're inappropriate or if they're funny, because things like that actually stick in your brain a little better. So some say marry money, but my brother says big butts or breasts matter most. Those two words normally being substituted for brains because they're going to make you actually think about it. And thinking about it, my brother would say that because, well, if you saw his wife, you would know why. God, I love both of them, both of them, yeah, whatever. No judgment. He likes big butts and he cannot lie. So we're going with that. So the last mnemonic, like I said, can help you remember, whether these nerves or neurons are sensory, mixed, or motor. The only trouble with this one is you have to remember in order what they were from the get-go. So you have to remember what order the 12 went in for this one to actually work. Kind of makes sense if you think about it, but I just wanted to point that out for a little bit. So that's my little video. Here are my sources, basically 2 textbooks that we have on all this information. If you have any questions, put a link in the comments, or rather, put your question in a comment. If you have any tips or whatever, just let me know. I'll get back to you. And yeah, have a good day. I really hope this helps somebody. All right. Bye.